Welcome back, everyone. Workout of the day. Today's focus is going to be on the shoulders and the upper body. We have a little bit of a strength focus in the beginning where we're going to work on stability and teach you a new movement. And then in the workout, we're going to have a 12-minute EMOM, which will again focus on upper body conditioning and strength and endurance for the upper body. Like always, we're going to begin with our warm-up. Remember, you can continue to repeat the warm-up if you're not feeling quite as warm just yet before going into our further pieces in today's session. To start, we're gonna go ahead and do 10 toy soldiers, and that is a dynamic kick and reach, opposite hand to opposite foot. So here I'll start with the leg kicked back, I'll swing and reach, and the goal is to aim for mid-chest, maybe to chin level per leg that you do that for. Right, we're gonna alternate between sides, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right, so goal there is to just open up the hamstring dynamically, get a little brief stretch to the backside. Second movement is gonna be our body weight squat, and we're just priming the hips a little bit. Shoulder width apart is where our feet will be. You can have a slight toe angle, but remember, wherever your toes point, I need those knees to point in the same direction, not a different direction. Cool. 10 squats. Feel free to spend a couple seconds down here at the bottom, wiggle around, get the knee to move over, but keep those heels on the floor. Cool. From there, we're now gonna focus on the shoulders a little bit. So if you have a light pair of weights, maybe a couple water bottles, that will suffice. We're doing 3 different movements for 5 reps each. Again, not heavy, just warming up. So here I have a couple of change plates. I'm going to do 5 lateral raises, keeping my palms down towards the floor, lifting to about shoulder level before controlling the weight back down to my legs. From there, I'm gonna go 5 front raises, just again to shoulder level, no swinging involved, nice and controlled on the way down. Last one. And then from here, I'm going to hinge at the waist. Chest is gonna go ahead and be as parallel to the floor as possible. Slight bend in the knee if you're feeling tight through the hamstrings. And then we're gonna go reverse flies. At the top, I'm feeling my shoulder blades squeeze together. 3, 4, 5. Good. Now we're gonna repeat that for 2 more rounds. We're gonna go at a quicker pace here. Again, 10 toy soldiers, 10 squats, and then the 5-5-5 with the plates. Or water bottles, whatever you are using for your warm-up. 10 squats. And 10. Then we have our shoulder work. Five to the side. And then 5 reverse fly. Good, last round. High kicks again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, last set of 10 squats. And then our last set of 5, 5 and 5. Back to the front. Right, if you're thinking about rep speed, I'd rather you go up fast and then slow on the way down versus slow on the way up and fast on the way down. And 5. Cool, so now hopefully you feel a little bit warm through the shoulders, through the quads, open through the hips and the hamstrings. We're gonna go into our strength work today, or now, and go ahead and review those movements. Grab a weight, it can be a backpack, it can be a water bottle, it could even be a shoe, and we'll be back in a second. All right, welcome back. So now we're gonna go into our strength portion, and we're gonna teach you a new movement called a Turkish Get-up. There's multiple pieces that go into this movement, so feel free to pause, rewind, and rewatch. I'll demonstrate this as best as possible, as well as dictate each step that goes in to the full movement. Benefits to this movement is gonna be shoulder stability and shoulder strengthening, as well as overall body awareness when it comes to having a weight in that arm and on that shoulder, right? So, like I said earlier, we're grabbing whatever weight we have possible. It could be a water bottle, if you have dumbbells, plates, maybe a kettlebell, that's actually the best one that you can have, or just a shoe. But we're teaching general awareness with some weight for that shoulder to feel, right? So, I'll demonstrate this from the side. Now I'm gonna have this dumbbell in one arm, and I'm gonna start with my left so that you can see from that angle, and then I'll do it from my right. From here, I'm gonna press that dumbbell. It is always gonna stay above my shoulder no matter which way I turn. That's important. So for those of you at home watching this video now, let the video play and you can try it along with me after you watch me do it once. So here, same side leg is bent. I'm going to punch the ceiling and roll onto my right elbow. I'm gonna push into my right hand. And now I'm sort of in this seated position here. I'm gonna push into the floor with my left leg. My hip will come off. My leg will sweep under. And I'm now in a lunge with that dumbbell overhead. So now I'm gonna step up and I'm standing. Now I go in reverse. I lunge, I put my hand down, my leg goes through, butt goes down, elbow, lay down, and leg goes down. Right, so I'll show you with the opposite leg now, opposite side, same thing, same side leg is up. I'm gonna punch the ceiling and go onto my elbow, go into my hand. From here, hip comes up, leg goes through, I come up into my lunge, and I stand. Right, lunge, hand, leg, elbow, and lay down, right? So, a lot of moving pieces there. I'm gonna go a little faster and I'll simplify a bit more, but I want you to feel free, rewind, watch it again. And in this time that I do that, watch that that dumbbell is always gonna stay above my shoulder. Whether I'm laying down, I'm on my side, I'm here, it's always right above my shoulder, not skewed off to one side or another, right? So one more time, per side. I'm gonna go a little faster. Elbow, hand, hip, leg, lunge, and stand. Lunge, hand, leg, elbow, lay down. Other side. Elbow, hand, hip, leg, lunge, stand. Lunge, hand, hip, elbow, lay down. Cool. So that is our Turkish Get-up. And we're gonna be doing one per side every minute on the top of the minute for 6 minutes. So in total, you're only gonna be doing 6 on one arm and 6 on the other. And the key focuses here are gonna be on weight, staying above the shoulder, no matter what angle my body is in. Number 2, what might help is if you keep your eyes up on that weight. It should always be pointing towards the ceiling. and not off to the wall. Lastly, number 3, if you are stuck in a particular part of the Turkish get-up, then I want you to pause and really check out the angles of my body. Maybe your foot is too close when you're in that bridge position here. Maybe you need to bring it out more and really try to break down those pieces a little bit more. Right? So now I'm gonna get the clock set. We're gonna start for 6 minutes, one on one arm, one on the other. Right, clock is getting set. We're gonna get down on the floor, pick which side you wanna start with first. Good side, bad side, whichever one. One per arm. First one is gonna kick off in 3, 2, 1, and go. Notice I'm moving very intentionally, not rushing through. Keeping that dumbbell over the shoulder and not rushing that at any point. Cool, 1 and 1. Rest. 30 seconds before we do the other side. Right, so very important, keep that dumbbell over the shoulder. If you are pretty challenged in terms of actual overhead mobility, getting that arm back, a kettlebell would help bring you back there, but also keep that in mind that you have to work on mobility to get you able to safely be overhead. Right, so about 15 more seconds till we go into the next one. Again, pick that arm you want to start with. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And what you might also find is it's tough to lock out that elbow if you are particularly tight in the shoulder, but it's also important for your safety to push through and lock out that elbow. All right, that's set number 2. Now, if you're feeling really jazzy, you got this down. You can feel free to maybe do 2 and 2 per minute. You can try to step up to another weight, but same rules apply. You should be able to lock out that arm. You should be able to keep it above the shoulder, no matter what angle your body is positioned in. And lastly, you gotta keep that same rule, those rule sets on the way down. It's not just about the up, it's about the returning back to the lay down. Right, we're going again. 3, 2, 1, and go. Other arm. All right, we're halfway. 3 more sets. We're going again in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Good, 2 more sets. And again, it's not necessarily about moving fast. It's about getting some general shoulder awareness and control. All right, 2 more. In 3, 2, 1, and go. side, elbow, hand, hand bridge, sweep the leg, go into lunge, back up, lunge, hand, sweep the leg, hip, elbow, yeah. One last round. Woo! Oh, I'm gonna fast that one. 10 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, that's our Turkish Get-up EMOM. Focus on the shoulder, stability, balance, strength, and just building overall awareness to that shoulder. We're gonna take a short break. We'll come back, we'll talk about what we have for our workout, talk about the different substitutions, and then we'll get into it. 12-minute EMOM that we have on the menu today is gonna have minute 1 be 12 presses, shoulder presses. If you can't go overhead, we can just go ahead and go to the floor, do our 12 push-ups. You can do those from the knees, you can do those full body. You can even do those to a bench or a countertop if you cannot push your body weight for 12 reps, right? Second minute, we're gonna be doing 6 and 6. That means per side Turkish sit-ups. That is essentially the first half of our Turkish get-up. So I'll show you that real quick. Same side leg is up, that arm is having that dumbbell in. I go to the elbow, I go to the hand, and that's 1. Come back down. 2. So I'm gonna go 6 on one arm, 6 on the other. That's my second minute of movement. Now the third minute is gonna be a single arm dumbbell swing. We're working on the hamstrings, the back. We're using an explosive drive through the hips to propel that dumbbell away from us, right? So it's dumbbell swings. If you have a kettlebell, you're more than welcome to use that. If you don't have access to either or, we can load a backpack with a couple of water bottles. We're going here and just to eye level. So I go 6 on one arm and then I go 6 on the other. What's important to remember is that if you saw, my back was flat throughout the full range and it did not arch or round. Secondly, if you watch me from the front, my shoulders are not rotating even though I have only one weight in hand. Treat it as though you have 2 weights, so we're square through the shoulders, come down the middle, come up, and we're not allowing that spine to twist into there, right? So 6 on one arm, 6 on the other. Right now, what I want you to do is to test out that weight. Pause the video, try 3 Turkish sit-ups on one arm, 3 on the other. Were you able to do that back to back? Perfect. Same weight, can you do 6 single arm swings on one arm and the other back to back? It may be that you need a different weight from the Turkish sit-ups to your swings, to your presses. And maybe that single dumbbell that you had for the swings is what you're gonna use single dumbbell wise for your presses. That's okay. 2 movements that rely heavily on the shoulders and a little bit of the core. And the third movement, which is a bit more of a leg movement, posterior chain, as well as core in that single arm swing. Right? So 12 minutes, we're gonna get started here. I'm gonna start off the clock. We'll kick off with 12 presses, and then if you need to, I'll demonstrate some switches along throughout the workout. In 3, 2, 1, and here we go. First minute is gonna be our 12 presses. Elbows are underneath the weight. Press up and overhead. Biceps finish next to the ears. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you're like, hey, Coach Marvin, this weight that I have is a little too heavy for me to just do it all shoulders. You can do a little dip drive with the legs to get a little momentum, which is a movement we call push presses. Here's our 12. Right, so we have about 15 seconds now where we'll transition to the floor for our Turkish sit-ups. This set, I'll demonstrate from the side. Next round, I'll demonstrate from the front. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin. And switch. Woo. 4, punch, 5, and punch, 6. All right, 10 seconds, going to our single arm swing. 3, 2, 1, and go. At the top, should feel the glutes squeeze. That way we know we're using the hamstrings and hips and not just doing this movement either through the shoulder or through the back. Right, so now we get a little longer break, 30 seconds. We're going back to the presses. Switch out the weight if you need to. All in all, we're doing these movements for 3 more rounds, so think about that. Take the numbers down. Instead of 12 presses, maybe 10 or 8 if you need to, right? 10 seconds. And same thing too, if you want to keep the weight, you really want to work on strength. You don't have to do all 12 straight. You can do 6, quick little rest, come back for 6. That's 12, right? So 30 seconds of rest. As I said earlier, I'm gonna demonstrate this round from the front. When you're doing the Turkish sit-ups, yeah, we still got the shoulder stability, but now we're working obliques and the abs. And how we get up is gonna be at a kind of diagonal. So it's not really a sit-up per se. It's more of like a diagonal crunch with weight. Feel free to adjust weight, or maybe even just do this weightless. In 3, 2, 1, and go. Two more. And switch. And last one. And we have about 10 seconds till our swings. This one I'll demonstrate from the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Notice my finish position is just standing tall, and I'm not leaning back at the end. We're just standing tall to finish strong. Cool, 6 and 6. And we rest for the remainder of time. 30 seconds, go back to our presses. This round, I'm gonna demonstrate our push-ups and what we like to see in those push-ups. So again, this is a good substitution. If you cannot safely, due to injury, press overhead. 10 seconds. This is my good side. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And there's our tall push-ups. Now, if you notice, my hands start underneath my shoulders, but when I go down to my push-up, that's not where they stay. I kind of shift my weight forward. That happens naturally. But if I drop my knees to a knee push-up, I don't have that forward translation anymore. And instead, what I'll have is a very acute angle through the elbow, a lot of pressure through that tricep. So if I switch to knee push-ups, I need to move those hands down to get a more optimal pushing angle, something closer to 90 degrees. Right, so now we're gonna switch, Turkish sit-ups. And we'll switch. I think I lost count, but we'll say that's 6. All right, we're going to our swings now. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, if you don't have a weight to use, a good thing to use in place would be maybe a backpack, messenger bag, loaded with a couple water bottles, books. I would not suggest your electronics. Canned foods would work really well. And 6. But make sure we're picking something that we're using a grip that's ergonomic, that won't risk hitting the legs on the way through. Right, so if you're using a laptop bag, we're holding it here so that it's going right through. Backpack, we're holding it in such a way that, or we're moving our feet out, we have more clearance. Right, so going back, we're gonna do our presses. It's gonna be our last round. So if you had to switch the movements, try to bring it back. If safe, we're gonna do these last movements for the last round. Presses. Two more. I'm a little tight in my shoulders, so you can see I was a little fighting for getting right over to the shoulder, and that's better for you to fight than to compensate by breaking form elsewhere, and that's not what we want here. Switching to our Turkish sit-up in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. 2 on this side. Last one. Arm. Last 2. And 1. Oh, I gotta go down. There we go. And last set of swings. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch in midair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Woo. All right, keep going. Still some time left, about 30 seconds before time is capped. So if you needed to take a little break in between the Turkish sit-ups and the swings, you're okay. 15 more seconds. Keep pushing, don't let that back round. Use those hamstrings and glutes. 10 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, grab some water, take a little breather. That is the end of our 12-minute EMOM. Again, this has been mainly shoulder focused, pressing, either push-ups or strict pressing. And then we've also had the Turkish sit-ups, Turkish-Get-ups earlier, and then we finished with a bit of Russian swings with the dumbbell. If you need to, remember, take some time right now to kind of decompress. Do some arm circles, get some blood through those shoulders. And if you're feeling sore for the next 2 days, that's natural, but it should kind of dissipate by the 3rd day. If you're still feeling sore, try to avoid anything too strenuous through the shoulder use, but do get some blood flow in there. Swimming, running, just avoid maybe pressing if you're feeling that sore. All in all, I hope you enjoyed this workout, and I'll catch you again for the next one.